Welcome to What to Do When, a podcast from real lawyers with real perspective, where we explore a variety of legal issues and scenarios. Each week, we focus on a new topic and discuss what to do when and if any of these legal scenarios ever happen to you or a loved one. With over 40 years of combined legal experience, our hosts offer their unique perspectives and insights on a range of real-life legal situations.
Hi, thanks again for following us here at Critzer Cardani. This is our podcast. This is in Richmond, Virginia. I'm Jackie.
I'm Scott. Jackie, what's on the docket for today?
Holiday visitation when you don't have a court order or new separation. Okay.
Ooh, holiday visitation. So we're coming up on Thanksgiving and Christmas is quickly coming around the corner. So you're in a situation where you have children and you're not together with the other person any longer. Is that what we're talking about?
Well, that's what we're talking about, but also there's maybe not an agreement in place. It's a fairly fresh separation. And this excludes the situations where the children might not be safe with the other parent, genuinely, not as a weapon, okay? But I'm talking about a situation where it was an amicable separation, and how do we figure out, we're not ready to call lawyers yet, or maybe we are, but we can't get in until it's after the holidays. How do we figure out how this is supposed to look?
Yeah, and this really goes back, we always say the overriding principle in custody cases in Virginia is the best interest of the child, which really means where, you're going to kind of consider the child's needs and your needs and everybody's needs together to try to figure this out. So, but this shouldn't be that difficult because in most families, what we find is like Thanksgiving. Usually one side of the family celebrates and one side maybe doesn't, or they have times like we've always gone to grandma's on Thanksgiving in the morning on my side, and your side went in the evening. So my advice is to stick to those traditions as much as possible. You're just going by yourself than with your significant other at that
I think
point.
Traditions are so important, and we've said it before, I'll say it again. Scott and I both are divorced and remarried, and we have kids and also sort of grown kids who have experienced separated parents, and exactly what Scott said, I did my very best to maintain traditions that the children knew at the time, and they were little, they were 3 and 5. And so I always did my best to, whether if we had a tradition, to keep going with it, if we didn't have one, to establish one, because it was so grounding for them. And there are, to this day, I still ask them, and they're both, late in their teen years, what's mandatory for Thanksgiving? That's always been a question I've always asked. What dish? What's got to be there? And they're like, we can't pick just one. I remember my oldest son came downstairs and he said, oh, it smells like Thanksgiving. Those things, those traditions, those memories that get stored, don't rob your children of that because you don't want to give up time. It's so easy as a parent to say, but I just love my children. I don't ever want to be away from them. That's true, and that's fine. And they need to know that you love them, but they also need to know that you support them continuing in traditions and even building new memories and new traditions as your family takes a turn different than was hoped.
Yeah, and we did a lot of things, like my family, because I was in Ohio, we would do Thanksgiving and Christmas in Ohio around Thanksgiving time, and then my kids ended up having 2 Christmases. There were lots of ways you can do it to make it work out. Your young kids don't know that Thanksgiving is on Thursday versus Friday. You can literally have 2 Thanksgivings, and they're all the better for it. They get 2 big meals, and they're excited about it. There's just lots of ways you can do it and not be so stuck to the days. I think Christmas is a little harder because it's more traditional, but when they're young, still, even as they're young, sometimes working out 2 Christmases can be a really great thing.
There really isn't a sort of a de facto or a standard answer that applies to every family. Most courts right now are saying, well, let's alternate holidays. If the children are with one parent for Thanksgiving, they're with the other parent overnight Christmas Eve, and then that alternates the next year. You don't have to do it that way. You can split the actual day of Thanksgiving, like Scott was saying, do an earlier meal with one family or a later meal with the other family, and then there's Christmas. Everybody wants the Christmas Eve. Not everybody. Lots of parents want the Christmas Eve overnight, waking up Christmas morning, and all those traditions. And if you're in a situation where you can work it out and it makes sense for your family, try to do that as a family. Somebody stays in a separate bedroom or on the couch, and if that isn't going to work, that's perfectly fine, but find a way to let your children be the center focus of the holiday. It's really about them and how they're going to perceive these holidays when the family was falling apart. So our message to you today is do what's best for them. Let them spend time with both sides.
Yeah, it's very simple like that. I mean, obviously, your kids aren't the center of the universe, but in these little holiday issues, I mean, Christmas is really about little kids more than big kids, so if you can work that out, that's great. And, your kids are all the better for it. They have good memories. And I'll give you another example that I was thinking about when Jackie was talking. Like, maybe you're a parent who's not financially that stable and don't have a lot of money to spend on Christmas, and the other parent does. It's okay to let them have that Christmas morning where they're going to have a better, and you can still make a great Christmas without having money. Money doesn't make a great Christmas, but don't take away from something because of some issue in your mind where it should be even or something. If they, for instance, maybe traditionally they went to grandma's house and grandma has 70,000 things for them.
Sure.
Let them do that, man. Let them have that fun. And then you make some other tradition with your life and your family that is exciting. Maybe you go on a hike that day. Maybe you go, I don't know. There's just lots of things you can do to make the holiday special for you. And it doesn't really always have to require money. And some people get down and get locked in on that. And just let your kids enjoy the time. It's kind of like holidays. A lot of parents will fight, well, you can't take them to the beach with you. What are you talking about? I mean, unless there's a danger issue, why wouldn't the kids enjoy the beach for a week or for a weekend? So just kind of remember that. Try to keep that in mind and try to get out of your own head sometimes. It's hard, I know. We've both been through it. There's times when we wanted to say no for reasons that we were just mad, or angry.
Sure. So. And we have all new issues now that we've got the little one and we've got the blended family and we're trying to figure all that out. But that's really a topic for another podcast we're going to do here shortly. And really that's about holidays and blended families. So this is for the families who are post-divorce and they're starting to commingle new families and growing maybe more family members. And so be listening for that this holiday season that's coming up real soon. We look forward to your questions. You can send them to info@cclawva.com.
Like and subscribe.
Thanks so much.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode of What to Do When. For more episodes, be sure to subscribe to our podcast, and we encourage you to check our archives to listen to previous topics. Tune in next week for a new episode and some fresh perspective from Critzer Cardani.